Hi, this is Joel from Effective Educational Consulting, and I want to talk to you about three nasty writing areas that cannot be ignored on the TELPAS that could ruin your EB student scores. So, area number one, on that TELPAS test for the writing portion is a story. Writing a story that has a beginning, a middle, or an end, or it could have two of those parts or one of those parts, right? So it's going to be a longer format. So you're going to be writing some type of story. Okay, it's going to have or be based on pictures. Right? A lot of the times, 4 pictures, a series of 4 pictures. Or it could be less if they're going to do an order and they might take out a part and ask you to write about it, or take out 2 parts. And it's going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, that is the first area you cannot ignore. During your year, you want to be covering that in all your content, giving them many opportunities to use pictures, a series of pictures that tell a story where the students are going to have to either write all 3 parts, beginning, middle, and end, or maybe you just have them write a beginning, or maybe you give them a beginning and an end and they have to write the middle, or maybe you give them a beginning and a middle and they have to write the end. But you play around with these beginning, middle, and end, and you provide them with the opportunity to write a story using pictures. And on the TELPAS test, they will give them very specific directions, like, for example, talk about a problem, talk about the characters, talk about how the problem was solved. They might even have 2 different sets of directions where they tell them, okay, we want you to write an order from the beginning to the end, or we just want you to explain the ending. And then they give them other parameters, like talk about the characters, talk about a problem, talk about how the problem was solved. So be going over how to catch those rules for the test. Very important. With the writing of that first one, story with pictures, and then beginning, middle, and playing around with that process. Okay, area number 2 that you cannot ignore if you want to get good results for that TELPAS writing part. Okay, and that is, excuse me, the famous compare and contrast. Okay. A lot of times they will give them 2 pictures. Okay? They will give them 2 pictures, and they will need to compare and contrast according to the parameters set in those directions, right? So one more time, they got to catch those directions and follow them to a T. Okay? So give your students plenty of opportunities during the year to compare and contrast 2 pictures, or it could be 2 concepts, or 2 ideas from the concept or content that you're working on in that 6 or 9 weeks. Give them plenty of opportunities to compare and contrast, and give them some type of graphic organizers that will work. It's a generic way of handling the content, organizing the content. Okay, same thing with the story with the pictures and the beginning, middle, and end. Give them an easy graphic organizer where they can handle that. Okay, the third way, the third area, the third nasty writing area that you cannot ignore if you want to see growth in your TELPAS writing scores. That is to take your Okay, I'm going to say it, the teaks. Take your teaks that you're learning during the year, okay? And during your year, during your instruction during the week, you need to take some of that content that go along with whatever teak you're learning about during that week. And you need to do a type of writing where they are going to have to do basically kind of like, I don't know what you might call it in your district or your school, where they might need to do basically a show what you know. A show what you know basically about whatever content, whatever teak that you're learning. Okay? Because what we're seeing now is that the STAR test or the TELPAS test, they're taking that test and they're fitting it right into the content that is learned through the teaks, whether that be math or science or social studies or your language arts. So cover those teaks that you, whatever that you're working on that week. Take that content, give them plenty of opportunities to do a type of writing where they're going to show what you know about that teak that they're learning about. And one more time, give them a type of a way or a graphic organizer or a way, a strategy of organizing that information and being able to express it in an excellent way. Okay? And if you did not notice, here's a little tidbit for you. Little something, a bonus. Here's your bonus, right? Let's compare and contrast, right? This will directly impact not only your TELPAS scores, but this will directly impact the STAR, because you will find those paired passages on the STAR test that will directly impact that. Okay, so there you go, killing two birds with a stone. Anyway, there's your 3 nasty writing areas that you don't want to ignore for that TELPAS test and the writing. Okay, so review. A story with pictures, beginning, middle, and end. Play around with that. Give them a way to do it. Number 2, compare and contrast with 2 pictures. Not only does that cover your TELPAS writing, but it also helps out a ton with your STAR, with those paired passages. And your 3rd area, use those teaks, use that content, and do types of writing where they're going to show what they know about that. And give them a way to do that, a strategy, a graphic organizer. I hope that helps you. I hope that adds a ton of value. And pick out one. Just pick out one of these to try this week. And have a way that your kids can do it every single time. And that's it, my friends. Enjoy your day or your evening. All right. See you later.